reality is that this really should be a partnership, though that is a very overused word, between the enterprise and the vendor community. Now, we're starting a research project that looks at the research and development process at the vendor community to add transparency to it and to identify for the enterprise IT manager opportunities to become part of the vendor's R&D process, whether through customer co-innovation as well as through initiatives like early adopter programs, which are fairly common. Now, the important thing to realize is that the enterprise really needs to be very proactive and persistent when they're trying to influence the vendor community. Otherwise, frankly, they'll just get ignored. Also, there's an opportunity for companies to band together in user groups and present a unified voice to the vendors that will amplify what they say. Well, there's a number of things that internal IT needs to be doing. First and foremost, monitoring the disruptors, both within their organization and external disruptors that will impact their companies. So, for instance, social media. A lot of enterprise IT managers are not really tracking social media because that's a consumer activity. Rather, they think that's marketing's problems or somebody else's problem. However, that's an example of a disruptor that will eventually impact the enterprise application because to be truly effective, they need to be integrating with social media, whether it's with Facebook or Twitter, in order to bring into the organization information about the company, about the competition that would go into customer relationship management, customer service applications, and so on. So external disruptors are very important for the enterprise to think about. Next, the enterprise needs to be talking with their line of business executives about what are the plans going forward, because line of businesses have to move faster and faster and faster, and as a consequence, IT has to be more agile as well. It's no longer good enough for IT to sort of sit back and wait for the business to come to them to communicate what needs to be done. They need to become very connected with their line of businesses, knowing what they're planning as far ahead as possible in order to anticipate changes that might impact the enterprise applications. And then finally, the enterprise IT people need to be monitoring their vendors much more closely. They need to be looking at their M&A activities or mergers and acquisitions, their R&D activities, research and development, their financial strengths. And remember, with M&A and R&D, in many cases, that's different sides of the same coin. A really smart vendor will have a dual R&D and M&A strategy, so they can always have the opportunity to buy or build, whichever makes sense. The top three factors that are going to impact the enterprise applications marketplace in 2011 are going to be the growing strength of new style competitors like Salesforce.com and Workday that are using SaaS effectively, that created a new platform to compete. Number two are new platforms, finally, from the major vendors themselves, such as Oracle with its Fusion platform. Part of the problem over the last decade has been the accumulation of many applications, but not a new platform. So we're going to be seeing new platforms finally in 2011. And then finally, just the increasing number of disruptors that's going to impact the core applications as well as the vendors that provide them. Now, one thing to remember is that disruptors are not just technology disruptors. We talk a lot about SaaS, we talk a lot about cloud, we talk a lot about mobility. But remember, there are other factors beyond technology that can impact IT and how it deploys the enterprise application. For instance, people are disruptors. So an employee will demand to be able to use their smartphone to access the functionality. An employee might demand, because they need access to information when they're outside of the office. Customers might demand to interact with the organization via social media. And it'd be really important for the social media to be integrated with the customer relationship management in order to connect all the information around a customer within the organization, not just phone, not just email, but now also social media. So disruptors are going to be a major factor in 2011 as well. So, new competitors getting even more effective, new platforms from legacy competitors, and then just a large number of disruptors, technology and non-technology.